following is a production of DallasCowboys.com and the Dallas Cowboys Football Club.
How about them Cowboys?
Blowing out of the backfield, exploding down the sideline.
This is Hangin' with the Boys, presented by Wingstop, where flavor gets its wings. Now, your hosts, Nate Newton, Kurt Daniels, Jesse Holley, and Shannon Gross.
Welcome to the show. It is 11:30 on Thursday, and that can mean only one thing. It is time for your favorite program, Hanging with the Boys. It is 60 degrees outside and cloudy. Feels like 58. It's a high of 67, low of 57 tonight, and no one in this room can hear anything.
But as long as these people, can the people hear us out here? Because we can hear you.
There we go. I got it now.
I got some. People can hear us, man. We good, man. Let's rock and roll.
We got
boy,
it now.
Shannon, you dressed like a $5 bill, boy, sharp and in place.
Hey, hey.
And even Kurt got on a nice shirt. I'm the only one in here with the cowboy makeup.
Yeah, you're representing.
Jesse, are you with us?
I'm here.
There go Jesse, man.
All right.
What do you got on the shirt today, fellas? I can't see this far.
Yeah, what you got on today,
What you got on your shirt today, brother Jess?
It says at from CD Lamb.
Well, we can't hear Jesse.
As we get near.
So we'll tell you what we do. We'll take Jesse off and the rest of us will talk.
You can't hear Jesse?
I can't hear Jesse.
I can hear him now.
His shirt says at CD Lamb.
Okay, at CD Lamb. All right, at CD Lamb. Yes, sir.
All right.
Yeah, as we're getting closer to the draft, it reminds me of what happened last year in the draft when CD got drafted by the Cowboys and the cameras panned to him.
Hello.
And that second cell phone rang.
Oh, yeah.
And his girlfriend picked it up and he snatched it. He said,
Yep.
Don't you do that.
With the quickness.
There's a T-shirt of that.
Did you get that made, Jesse?
I did. Yeah, I did. I had to get this made.
That's awesome, man. That is awesome. I love it. I love it. Do you have like a T-shirt guy? Because you have a lot of like homemade T-shirts, right?
I have a T-shirt gal.
Okay.
There you go.
There you go.
We need some Hanging with the Boys T-shirts.
Yeah, come. Let's work on that. I'll pay for one. I'll support the cause. I'll support local-owned business.
Yeah, just tell it. What do we want to get, man? We can get it. We can get it done up.
I don't know. We need to get with Chris and work on that. We'll figure that out. We'll get it made.
I love Chris, man. He always takes care of me, man. I mean, look how Chris just bounced it in.
We had some technical difficulties, and Chris ran in here.
Yes, we have.
Got Nate hooked up.
Got the fat man hooked up.
Got the big man. I'm not going to call you the F word.
The fat man. Well, you know what?
It's one word. Like you said it in one word.
Let me tell you, if fat man gonna get me, then me and Deion Sanders will never be friends.
No.
I introduced him, hey, I'm Nate Newton and you Deion Sanders. He's like, no, you fat man. I say, you rat man, okay?
P-H-A-T though, right?
He's Rat Man?
Right? Yeah, rat man. He don't look like Mickey Mouse to you?
Hey, Chris, let's get a look at the plaza. You got that plaza look since we missed it at the first of the show? Because it's nice and homey looking.
Wow,
there
who
you
is
go.
that on there?
That's
Who's
a
that
live look at Tostitos Championship Plaza at the Star here in Frisco.
A little sign work out there.
Little sign work going on. Not a lot of action. Is it raining out there?
It's a little cool out there, bro.
Yeah.
It's a little cool out there.
They're cool.
Chris, can you mute yours, Chris? I hear echo.
Man, we got all kind of stuff going on.
Hey, man, I tell you what, man. If Jesse come back in the office, we can all get together on one accord. Will you ever be back, brother Jesse?
Invites me, no one's
Jesse.
No one is invited.
Well, the show is on every Thursday at 11:30.
Please
Jesse.
come in.
Please come in, Jesse. Next Thursday, April the 22nd at 11:30. Be here about 11:15. Because we know how you like
I'll
to.
See if that works out for my schedule.
I'll see if it works
out for my
See if it
schedule.
works. It would be good to get the game back together. You know what? If you come out here next week, let's all go grab lunch after the show.
Can do that.
We haven't broken bread in a long time. That would be nice since we can't see.
He's got
Shannon,
actual work to do.
You just messed the whole deal up, Shannon.
What'd I do, Nate?
We haven't broken bread break bread, man. Just say break bread. We haven't broken bread.
Dude, I'm trying to overcompensate my country hick accent with proper grammar.
Okay.
So let me.
You made my brain scramble extra to get that in. You know what I'm saying? Don't do that to me, all right?
Oh man, I tell you what. Let's jump into the off-season program
Yes.
Because
What off season?
Jesse sent us a tweet from I guess it was Ian Rappaport about the memo that came out from the league. What are they doing different? Is anything different this year than what they've done previously with off-season stuff?
Yes, big time.
What is
it? Not with the pandemic year, but before the pandemic. It is big time.
What is it?
It's like, well, the first month is virtual, so they're going to continue with some of the virtual stuff. After that, in June, it's supposed to kind of go back to normal with OTAs, mini camp, and then a break before training camp. But the big issue, I think, is not really what's changing. It's the reaction to what's changing.
Yes.
The reaction.
The reaction.
You know what? What year did Coach Johnson come in? 1989? 90?
89.
And just think, Coach Johnson came in 89, 90, and by 92, this program that they're taking away is what he instituted for the whole league.
So he started that?
Yes, sir. He started the official off-season training, and he said it was voluntary, and it was never voluntary.
As Troy Hambrick once said, what do voluntary mean?
Yeah.
Look how long he lasted.
Yeah, so it's amazing how one guy come in with a concept and how the whole league jumped on it and took advantage of it, because this is how we used to do it before Coach Johnson came in.
Jesse, you're being quiet. I know you got a take on this.
Yeah, well, I mean, the biggest thing with this is as fans, right? As media people, we're always looking for some sort of coverage. We're always looking for some sort of story. And we don't get that when people are doing things in an abnormal way. Zoom call away from the facilities, because we've been so conditioned. I am on the same boat with Nate. This is how I've always been programmed that it would run. It would always run mini camps, OTAs, and I never had the luxury to be able to I'm not showing up to off-season workouts for whatever reason. No, I had to be there for a multitude of reasons. One, I was trying to make the team. Two, I needed a little bit of money that they give you when you come to those off-season workouts.
$250 a week.
And
is that what it is?
I'll take it.
When it started,
I needed all of it.
When it started with us was $250 a week.
Yeah, I needed it is a little bit more for me, but I needed all of it. I needed all that money that they was going to try to give me for those off-season workouts. And three, to get back in shape. And things have transitioned and they have changed over time. You have so many more. Like, think about when Nate played, right? When Nate played, there wasn't, personal trainers like that and workout facilities and all the different programs. And as the years went on, you have guys now who, if you don't have a personal trainer, if you don't have a trainer that you work with one-on-one, whether that be weight training or position-specific training, then you're basically a dinosaur, because everybody has that. All these guys have somewhere where they go and get that training done on a personal level, one-on-one level, or small group level. And so the days of having to come in and wanting to do workouts in the facility are kind of non-existent because of those factors. Because of guys having off-season homes and being in other cities, they can take their trainer with them whenever they go. They can go to Cabo or and have a guy come out there and be with them for weeks. They can go to Miami or California. So that part has changed. But the thing for us is we get our stories and we get our juice and we get all our stuff from people actually having to be in the building. We get to see guys, see their development. What are they doing? Get little hints and clues about what's happening. But most importantly, when you see how this team played last year and you're saying, wait, we had communication issues. We had fundamental issues. We had alignment assignment issues. We had personnel issues. I want to, and Nate's been on this for at least 3 or 4 months. I want the guys in the building so I can get my hands on them, so I can work with them, whether that's in a walkthrough setting, a jog-through setting, a meeting setting, whatever type of setting. But I want to get away. I want to get away from this Zoom because it is so difficult. And this might be the one thing I'll say negative against my guy, Freaky Mike. For all the stuff that Freaky Mike said in the beginning and his whole documentary that he did about changing in technology, I find it hard to believe that he's figured out a way to do coaching football virtually. He just doesn't come from that school. He doesn't come from that world where coaching football players and football schemes and all that kind of stuff. He doesn't come from a place where you do that virtually. He comes from a place where you do that physically on the field, hands on the guys, moving them, seeing them move. This whole virtual thing, he's not in that Sean McVay mode of coaching where technology is something that is in the forefront of their mind. He's from the old school, and he's won that way, and his foundation is that way, where you go and you get on the field doing it. And I think when every moment that you take him off of the field and make him have to do things virtually, I think more and more and more that is going to hurt this football team. And not only this team, but other coaches in the league who have to, who have to coach that way.
You know what's amazing is we can hear ourselves, bro.
Yeah, there's some background.
Yeah, so
kickback.
I ain't good at this. I'm gonna try to talk over my fat self. But anyway, you cannot have a team play as bad as we did last year and not want your hands on them. Our players. Oh, I don't want to say this in the wrong way. Over the last 3 or 4 years, our defensive players have not shown to be able to adjust to game situations.
Yeah.
Because the coaches say we want them to play fast. And what it says in a kind of ugly way is that our guys, when we make small adjustments to different formations and different movements, they ain't smart enough to catch on. And I'm not saying every guy is like that, but for your whole team to have to back up 2 and 3 steps, even 8, 9 weeks into the season, that does not bode well. And as Coach McCarthy said during his little quick press conferences, I'm still trying to get the guys in here that I like and that I want, and that is up here and as well as physically being smart. And I hate to say that about our players, but that's obvious by the last coaching staff that we had, and they played basically 1 or 2 fronts, 2 or 3 coverages, and they played fast, but they wasn't good physically. Okay, and we took these basically the same group of guys and tried to play fast again with multiple fronts, and it didn't work. So I would like for the guys to be here, especially guys that are on the bubble. Don't y'all fall for this. Yeah. Y'all make sure y'all over there working out. Mm-hmm. Y'all make sure y'all come in here.
What do you think, I guess, what's behind this, I guess? I mean, in some ways I feel like they're using COVID as an excuse to either, I guess to not work out. And is it a fact that, negatively, is it something where the players just don't care if they don't learn it soon enough? Or is it more like a long-term thing where the union's like trying to negotiate, saying, if you want us there, you're going to have to give us more money?
They're not going to give more money. The owners are not going to give more money because what they have done is they conceded things that was voluntary anyway, and that players were basically doing for free anyway. Okay, we don't need you. We need you during the mini camp. We need you during OTAs. And as we talked off air, Kurt, who this is going to hurt is them bubble guys. The studs and the stars, like Jess talked about a few weeks ago or last week, they're going to get their money.
Yeah, they get the bonuses to work out. They're going to get their
money, yeah. So they going to, it ain't mandatory that they don't come in. So they're going to come in and do their thing.
If
and
they
it's going
want
to be those bubble guys. I'm telling you that a coach looking at like, wow, this rookie seemed to be just the same guy because you ain't getting to look at him a long period of time. I was an overweight guy, and I needed to be here. I had to be here. I was one of the first guys, believe it or not, to have a trainer to help me lose weight, to help me stay in control. But when I wasn't here, wasn't there in Florida, I was here. You have to be somewhere that's structured. A lot of these guys we see after their careers, they be like, wow, that's you. You look at the player like, wow, man, you play DB, you look like me.
They go one way or the other.
Yes.
They either blow up or they
get
slim
thin.
down.
Yeah, so...
Well, then I guess Nick Eman reported on the website that almost 20 Dallas players have bonuses built into being here in the offseason working out. So if you've got, and those are the top guys, obviously.
Yes.
So if you got your top guys making money if they're here, and you got your bottom guys needing to be here if they want a job, why are they talking about not working out, not coming to the virtual thing?
That's the nature of the beast of America. You think you get it, oh man, I don't have to be there and I'll do this, and I can work out on my own. And some guys are just driven like that. Jesse was driven like that. I wasn't driven like that. So guys like me, you need to be weary. Your posse or your wife or whoever you hang out with say, hey, man, we ain't got no off-season money. You need to get up in there and get us some money, because a lot of guys, I'm telling you, coaches are funny. When they see guys, they trust guys. When they don't see guys and that scale go wrong, or you're not moving as well when you get back, they're like, what have you been doing? So now they mind got to go another place. You know, coaches work, much like players, they got set things how they want things to do. And like Jesse said, that was new. It was new for everybody, but that was new for Coach McCarthy, coming from off the streets into virtual.
What are they allowed to do now? Can they work out now?
They can come in
together.
And work out.
Yeah, I mean, they call them captains workouts, where it's player run, more or less. You know,
just can't have coaches.
Zach Martin's running the offensive line, and the strength guys, I think, can be on hand, but none of the football staff can be there.
Well, I bumped into a coach yesterday in the hall, and I kind of floated what Nate, you and Jesse have said, how much they missed being together last year and having off-season workouts, and they agreed 100%.
Really?
They were like, yeah. I said, because you saw the defense starting to pick it up toward the end of the year, because in my opinion, they were starting to figure it out. You know, things started clicking, and he was like, yeah, like we definitely missed not being together last year, and this year you're going to see a huge difference because they're going to be able to spend that time together. But it sounds like some of these teams, Kurt, you put on here, Seattle, Denver, Tampa Bay, Detroit, New England have all said that they're not going to take part in voluntary workouts.
At least some of their players have said they're not going to take part.
All that's good and well, man, but I'm telling you, coaches have a funny way on that. It's like from players 25 on down, the coaches control totally. Players 25 and up, you kind of got management sticking their hands on you because of the money, because of who they are. But that 25, 27, and 30 player on down, coaches looking at you. Jesse, you better not be one of those guys.
Yeah. Jesse, how much did these off-season workouts help you in terms of getting a job?
I didn't hear that last part, Kurt. Say it again.
As far as, how much did these off-season workouts help you in getting a job and getting noticed?
Oh, 100%. Because when Coach Wade or Coach Garrett or Coach Sherman look out their office window, who'd they see? The dreadhead kid out there running sprints, out there running routes, the weight room. Because all these coaches, and you guys know, you guys walk through the weight room and you'll see a coach on the Stairmaster. You'll see a coach getting a lift in. You'll see a coach in the sauna. You'll see a coach in the hot tub or the cold tub or the training room. A lot of times they're doing that, but to Nate's point, they're walking around and saying, okay, who is serious about football? And coaches always want to know. You hear in the interview process now when it comes to the combine and the draft and all that kind of stuff. They want football players who are serious about football. Now, those upper echelon dudes, yes, they want them serious about football as well, but because there's so much money into those guys, you got to just deal with those guys and hope that you found good guys. But like Nate was saying, from 28, 29, 30 down, I need to know that these guys are here and are serious about football, because that rounds about my roster. Those are guys who complete my football team. Those are the glue pieces on my roster that keeps things together. And if I can get a majority, you're not going to get everybody, but if I can get majority of the guys who I know that are buying into the system, who are buying into the workouts, who are doing what we're supposed to do, now I'm ahead of curve. And if I can get majority of the guys to buy in from that lower tier and some of the guys to buy in from that upper tier, I got a decent football team. And now what ends up happening is those guys who aren't bought in, those guys who really aren't a part of the team, they now begin to stick out like a sore thumb. And they're easily to identify. Now, when you identify, and what do you do with them? Do you just deal with them? Do you trade them? Do you cut them? Do you replace them? Whatever that may be. But you're able to identify. For a guy like me, it helped me tremendously because I came in, I was in the best shape. Coaches saw me there. If I had questions, I would go into the coach's office and ask questions. And that's like, they tell you in school, hey, you want to get brownie points with your professor? Go to his office hours. Go to her office hours and ask questions and and let them know that you're engaged in their class. When they're doing their grades and your grade might be a 75, you might just get that 78 or that 80, or you trying to move up 2 or 3 points. And it's the same thing for football. It's not brown nosing. It's really taking, a serious concern about your craft and about a job. You ain't snitching nobody out, but you showing them every single day that I am committed to this team. I am committed to work. I am committed to getting better. And that helps you find your way on a roster when it comes time to build out that 53.
All right. Let's take our first break. When we come back, we have a fan question. Find out who it's from and what it is. And we'll also, later on in the show, roll on over to Amen Corner, otherwise known as Kurt's Corner. When we come back on Hangin' with the Boys.
Just like all of you, we at SeatGeek can't wait until we're back in the stands at full strength cheering on the Cowboys and singing along to our favorite songs again. We're using this time to make discovering, buying, and selling tickets to events in Dallas easier. Plus, every ticket purchased on SeatGeek is protected by our buyer guarantee, which means you'll get your money back or better if your event is canceled. Guaranteed. Download the SeatGeek app today, and when the time is right, let's go. SeatGeek.
Grab some OtterBox gear and get ready for Hanging with the Boys. From rugged venture coolers to tough as nails elevation tumblers, we've got what you need to keep your game day drinks frosty and your football feast ice cold. And with cases, screen protectors, and power accessories, you can defend your phone and stay connected to every play. Gear up at OtterBox.com and amp up the fun of every Cowboys game. That's OtterBox.com.
1996, a great year and a glorious decade. Dolly the sheep was cloned. Dial-up was awesome. Influencers didn't exist. Pants were baggy. And the Dallas Cowboys won it all yet again. Sadly, we can't go back to the 90s, but we can still watch the Cowboys try to win it all once more. Whether you're traveling to the games or watching from your favorite vacation spot, book a place to stay on Hotels.com. Proud partner of the Dallas Cowboys.
Petit Jean Meats has been providing high-quality meat for families for more than 90 years. Using only the best cuts of meat and quality ingredients, Petit Jean Meats still smokes their meats the old-fashioned way, over real hickory chips for 18 hours. Fill your pantry with Petit Jean Meats ham, sausage, bacon, and more. Or send your loved ones a gift box full of their favorite items from pjmeats.com. That's pjmeats.com. Petit Jean Meats. Taste the difference.
Back to Hanging with the Boys.
I got some great news, fellas.
Yeah.
You want to hear it, Kurt?
Tell us. Yes.
Join us. Did you hear what I said? Join us live and in person.
Let's
at the official 2021 Dallas Cowboys draft party presented by Miller Lite on Thursday, April the 29th on Tostitos Championship Plaza at the Star in Frisco. You can enjoy live draft coverage, performances by the Dallas Cowboys cheerleaders, live music, and so much more. Admission and parking are free. For details, visit DallasCowboys.com/draft day. We're going to do it live. Let's go, man. We get to be around people again. We get to have fans out here at the Star. Let's go.
It'll be fun.
That'll be fun.
I'm excited.
Dude, it's going to be – the draft show is going to be live out here. They're going to have it on the Plaza big board. Yeah. It's going to be really cool. And while we're talking about the draft, enter the free-to-play Draft Pick Challenge presented by DraftKings for a chance to win 2 2021 season tickets. Submit your picks before the draft starts on April 29th. You must be 21 years of age or older to play. To see the official rules and enter now, go to DallasCowboys.com/draft-pick-challenge. You get to predict the draft, and if you get it right, then you win season tickets.
Wow.
There you go.
That's pretty nice.
Is Jerry shooting the draft from the yacht, or is he going to be in the building?
I don't know. That's a great question, but I think they're loosening up some of the COVID protocols, so I think they're allowed to be in the building this year. So I don't know at what capacity or anything, but
I'm guessing he'll be on hand.
I would imagine.
Although if I could do a draft from a yacht, I might I'd just choose that.
I would, but you know what? He can do anything he wants from that yacht. I'm sure he can take a break and come here for the draft. So, all right,
can we ask Chris Beam a question? Was Chris Beam a part of that team that had to set up all of the internet, telephone type stuff from the yacht to whatever networks it was shooting at? Chris Beam, were you a part of that process?
That would be a negative.
You didn't get that call?
You didn't get the trip to the Bahamas or wherever.
Sorry, I wish I did, but no.
Oh man, I thought you were had more pull than that, Chris.
They probably sent Jade.
I thought you were going to be able to give us some insight of what all it took to get all that production.
I tell you what, that would have been fun to go be on the yacht. But can you imagine the stress of being the guy?
Yeah, keeping that connected.
The IT guy to keep that connected and being on call 24/7.
Frozen.
Yeah. Oh my goodness.
There's some jobs you just don't want.
I don't think you want that.
Like, man, that would be great.
I don't want that.
No, eyes that he'd be looking at you.
At least 5.
Dude, even if you were on that yacht in the Bahamas or Italy or wherever it was at, like the stress from that. Yeah, you're right. That would age you 5 years. I'm out. Probably.
You had a little bit of a draft moment that probably aged you a little bit a couple years ago, didn't you?
When we tweeted out the phone number to the draft war room phone.
Yeah.
I mean, it happened so fast and we corrected it so quick. It really wasn't that big of a deal. But yeah, it could have. It could have been really bad. It could have been really, really bad. Thank goodness we have a great IT staff that fixed the problem, changed the number, got the new number to the league all in time before our draft pick. If it would have happened closer to when we were picking, it would have been really bad. But yeah, it wound up not being quite that bad.
Fun.
So yeah, it's good times.
Good times.
I blame James Smith, our photographer, for sending us that picture. It wasn't our fault.
You know what's so funny?
What?
The $1 million blunder that was it. That's what that was. That would have been millions of dollars.
Might have been a career ender.
Yeah.
I heard though that it happened soon enough. So for those of you that don't know, I guess it was 3 years ago, Kurt?
Yeah,
probably 3 years ago.
That, right?
We have a photographer in the war room, and we always put out pictures of how it's set up, and everybody that's in there. And James, our team photographer, does a really great job of making sure things don't go out that aren't supposed to. That he doesn't get shots of the video board. Well, the last thing we're thinking is the phone number on the digital phone shows up.
Yeah.
And some, of course, our fans, sleuthing everything, zoom in on the phone, and you could vaguely read the number to the war room.
Yeah.
And we tweeted it out in a little group of four pictures of the war room, and that was one of them. And the phone starts ringing.
Yeah, some random guy calls.
And then the phone starts ringing again, and then it rings again. And they said, I wasn't in there, but I heard that, Steven actually, they kind of started laughing about it. And Steven picked the phone up and was like, Papa John's Pizza, Dallas Police Department, making kind of jokes, which thank goodness we have a ownership group that understands we're going to make mistakes on social media and supports us and tells us to keep going. But that could have been really, really bad. So, but it wasn't. So
thank goodness. It's all fun now.
All fun and games. All right, let's move on. Bradley Carter. He tweeted us, right, Kurt?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
He tweeted us. And what do you want to know, Kurt?
Well, he just had some questions about the 17-game schedule that he wanted to throw at us. First one, there's 3, I guess, here. First one was, will they bring in a second bye week? The second one is, will they expand the roster and practice squad to make up for this extra game? And the last one is, do you think we're going to see more players being pulled from games early to save them? If the Cowboys are blowing out somebody, would Dak Prescott sit out the fourth quarter?
It wouldn't hurt nothing. I mean, if they blowing them out and we have the right team out there now, giving a guy a break or rest that never hurts. That never hurts. It's just like if you're good enough to be ahead in your division and you resting the guy, well, it ain't no difference in resting the guy at the end of the year. What you think, Jess? You may have a different opinion as a receiver, skill guy.
No, I always think about numbers. Guys want their numbers. And if I'm blowing a team out, I'm not thinking about coming off the field in a regular season game, I'm thinking about let's keep padding my stats because, oddly enough, a 17-game season, what we're going to have this year? We're going to have a lot of records broken. We're going to have a lot of catches records broken, touchdown records broken, rushing records broken, receiving records broken.
Mm-hmm.
Someone will probably pass for 6,000 yards this year when you add a whole other game, maybe at least 5,500 yards. So, when I'm thinking about this, I'm thinking about I want to be the first person to say, hey, I passed for 5,500 yards. I passed for 6,000 yards. I passed for 50 plus touchdowns. Oh, I had 100 and whatever catches, or I had 2,000 plus. I beat Eric Dickerson's rushing record for the season, because now all that now is and people may say, well, the record doesn't stand because they did it in 16, you did it in 17, whatever. I want that, and at the end of the day, do I have some incentives that need to be met, right? At the end of the year, does my contract, we talked about off-season workouts, what about my postseason contract? Does it say that if I make the playoffs, I get a bonus? Well, does it say that if I pass for 40 touchdowns, I get or if I catch 10 touchdowns, or if I rush for 1,500 yards, or whatever it may be? No, don't take me off the field. Let me go out there and get my numbers, because at the end of the year, when we get to week 17, if we have a substantial lead on a division and we're up a few games, you're probably going to sit me anyway then. And I would hate to be, 70 yards away from it, 80 yards away from it, 2 touchdowns away from it, whatever it may be, and I have to sit the last game of the year. Nope, I'm taking everything right now up front. So I think a lot of guys and they do, and will continue to think that way.
Well, offensive linemen don't have a choice. If you're a starting 5 or 6 guy, coaches don't trust. That's they'll put a receiver in before they change offensive lineman. They just do not want those sacks. They do not want that hit. So on the quarterback, whether it's a starter or a backup, so offensive lineman, we play through the whole game, whole season anyway, the majority of the time.
Will they need to expand the roster, you think? Because it's just going to be more wear and tear on the guys?
Now, they took away a preseason game, and you see right here the union is making it where the owners ain't going to be giving up too much of nothing. By they trying to take up the union, okay, you trying to take away this, okay, we going to keep the rest. The NFL going to try to keep the rest. Now, I don't know how strong our union think they are, but they may push right to the owners stop pushing back.
What do you think about a second bye week? You think eventually they'll institute a second bye week?
Let them check the revenue. If the revenue say second bye week, they'll do it.
And there's no – what do y'all guys think about – do you think an 18-game season is imminent? Because now you're going to have – every year you're going to have either one extra home game or one extra away game. They've got to, at some point, even that out, right, where you have equal amount home games.
I don't think they can, though, till the next CBA comes up. The 17-game one was, I think, negotiated into the last contract where the NFL had that opportunity. I don't think that right now, I guess they could go in earlier and figure something out, but I don't think they have the ability to just say, okay, now we're doing 18. They'll have to go back in and negotiate it on the next deal. So we may be with this and that deal was 10 years, so we may be at 17 for a while.
Didn't I read something a week or two ago that said they're going to start having a mandatory game outside of the U.S.? Every team has to play one. Did I read that, or did I dream that up?
No, there's something, and I don't know the exact rules of it, but every team is supposed to play overseas, or I guess it could be in Mexico or something.
Maybe that's part of what this is. Everybody has a game out of the country, and then you still have equal amount home and away games. Although one of them, that game would have to be home and away for somebody, but the revenue, the revenue as far as home versus away would still match up. So.
Yeah, I think that's a team like the Cowboys.
What's that keyword?
Revenue.
Yeah, revenue
drives everything.
And a team like the Cowboys make so much money off their home revenue that they're hesitant to go overseas like that.
Right.
But this probably gives our friend Jamie and others in England a better chance to maybe see the Cowboys.
England or I've heard
Great Britain,
Brazil, Germany,
Mexico would probably definitely.
Mexico would be a huge game for us. That's probably where we would go if I had to guess. Us and the Raiders in Mexico, that would be huge.
That'd be a big game.
That'd be huge. Although I'd prefer to play the Raiders in Vegas.
Well, you would, yeah.
Yeah, I would. I sure would. All right.
It says every 8 years, by the way, Shannon. Every 8 years,
I know.
Yeah, every team has to play an international game.
Every 8 years?
A home game.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yes. And I believe it also works for the Super Bowl. If you want to host a Super Bowl,
you have to
give up a home game to an international game if you want to host a Super Bowl now.
Gotcha. Okay. All right. Well, thank you very much, Bradley Carter, for tweeting that to us. I think it was yesterday. So, all right. Where should we go with this? Let's go here, Kurt. This is a great question that Kurt posed in his his pre-show notes. What if we talked about if Kyle Pitts was there at 10, and I think we all agreed that you got to take that guy if he's there at 10, right? I think we were all unanimous with that.
Yeah.
What
Go
wow.
ahead.
Wow, you backing up? You backing up?
Kurt, you never mumbled like that.
You backing up on that?
I never said I would definitely draft Pitts.
Oh, okay.
But
Right.
go ahead.
You wouldn't?
I got to draft for need.
All right. Well, I thought we were unanimous. I guess
Sorry.
we weren't. So 3-1.
I'm wishy-washy.
What if the best player on the Cowboys? Well, hell, you just answered this question before I asked it. What if the best player on the Cowboys board still left at 10 is a wide receiver like Jamar Chase? Would you trade down? Would you draft him even though he's a receiver because he's the best player has the best grade on your board, or do you go with need? Because we've been hearing, the last few years. You draft the best player on your board.
Right.
Whatever his grade is, whoever he is, if he falls to you, whatever.
Which they did last year.
Right.
Yeah.
But then would you get another receiver even though Jamar Chase is supposed to be, really good? Kurt wouldn't take a receiver. What would you do? You trade back?
Yeah, I think I would try to trade back because you would have some of those defensive guys available still. I mean, at some point there has to be a break off. I mean, you can't draft a quarterback this year. You can't draft a receiver. I mean, yes, it's nice to say best player available, but there are some, hit the brakes. We can't do that.
Is there?
I think so.
Quarterback. I think quarterback. Obviously.
Yeah.
Yes. Running back. I don't think there's any way in hell you draft a running back.
No, and I think receiver falls into that group too.
Okay. What do you think, Jesse? Would Jamar Chase, you taking him or are you trading back?
No, if I'm at 10,
yeah,
and no corner is there and no offensive lineman is there, I trade back. I don't think Jamar Chase is a game changer enough for me on this team to stay there and take him at 10. Mm-hmm. Kyle Pitts, that's a horse of a different color. I think he's generational talent. And if one of the top corners aren't there, Horn or Surtain isn't there at 10, then I try trading back and I pick up some picks and I may get a guy later on in the first round.
Nate.
Wow. What we 2 weeks away?
What we talk about? What you talking?
Getting a little more intense about offensive players. 2 weeks away right from the draft.
Closer we get.
You said this 2 months ago, didn't you?
Let me tell y'all something.
Tell us, Nate. Tell us. I want to hear it.
Is guys good enough to be drafted at that 10th spot? And you don't have to draft. You probably don't have to fall back no more than that 3 or 4 spots to get a guy what you really want. And ain't nobody giving up a second or a third, so you may get a 4th or a 5th for that pick, maybe. Let's get the best guy defensively if they ain't more than 2 or 3 spots, but let's just get that guy. Because I would just hate to be sitting here 5 months from now, all of us with our head down. I'm the only guy that's 16-0. Y'all got the team going 8-8, and we falling apart.
Because you traded back 3 spots.
There's no more 8-8, baby.
You traded
no more 8-8.
No, that's a good thing.
Game season.
That's a good thing about that 17th game.
But the 17th game going to make you worse.
Yeah, it could make you worse.
Yeah. It'll make you better on the winning side. So whatever that record may be, Brother Jess and the rest of y'all, we have to draft a defensive player that can impact us. We have to sign guys that can impact us. And so last year taught me a valuable lesson. Unless I see film on one of these guys, which I haven't seen nothing but highlight film on all these guys we got in free agency, until I see something on that field, I ain't making no moves. Draft some guys. Some guys.
What do you think? Mel Kiper's latest mock draft, he had the Dallas. He had the Cowboys trading down to 15 with the Patriots. Patriots would jump up, draft a quarterback. Cowboys would still get J.C. Horn at 15. In doing so, they would
that far, leave that.
They would pick up 2022 first rounder. This is Mel Kiper's prediction.
No, that ain't a bad move.
Yeah.
That ain't if you're assured of getting J.C. Horn or the kid from Bama, if you're assured of getting them, that's one thing. But from the guy I talked to who kind of know corners, he's saying even though we have some good corners in this draft, this ain't a year where it's just dominant corners. He don't think none of these guys are dominant. Jess, I want to get your opinion on that. Is any one of these guys that you've seen dominant? I probably need to check with some of our draft gurus around here. Are these guys game-changing guys, or are they just guys that fall into that 10th and 11th and 12th slot?
I think after these two guys, Surtain and Horn, it's a kind of a drop-off.
Yeah.
You might see some safeties, some kind of free safeties that, may still have some skills. But as far as the cornerback position, if we're talking about step in, ready to go right now, these are the top two guys to do so. And if you're talking about just overall polished, Surtain is a little bit more polished than Horn is. Horn is still a little bit of a work in progress, has a ton of upside. Surtain is more, can step in, can get ready to go, can fit into the scheme right now. But I always just think about, what is Dan Quinn going to do? Like, what does he wants to run a cover 3 defense. And the only way you're able to successfully run a cover 3 defense is if you have the corner that'll be able to be out there on that third and to be able to cover and come up and tackle. And so anything past that, you're now taking a gamble. I mean, it's a gamble, anything, but your gamble becomes increasingly more higher the more that you have to go into the draft. And, when you start looking at guys later on in the draft, I always think guys in like 20 something plus, those guys could have really been second rounders or third rounders that was pushed up into the first round.
Yes.
So outside of JC Horn and Surtain, I think the drop-off is significant for guys who come in and play right now. You and the Cowboys are looking for guys who come in and complete what they want to do on defense so they can go out and compete right now for a championship.
You know how I know I'm old? When you grow up watching guys play in the league and their kids are getting drafted. Joe Horn and Patrick Surtain, I didn't know that was their kids until about 2 weeks ago. That their dads were, because I grew up watching Joe Horn with the Saints, and then Patrick Surtain was, he was an elite DB in the league for several years, and then I figured the Surtain one out, but then I was researching, J.C. Horn. I was like, damn, that's Joe Horn's kid, man. I'm like, I realized this a few years ago when we picked up Taco Charlton on the Cowboys bus from the airport, and his parents were my age. And I was like,
a little shot of reality.
I'm going to tell you something,
I'm getting old, man.
I'm going to tell you something. Whoever the Cowboys get, they're going to have to be an impact defensively, man, because we got, once again, we went out and got a bunch of guys, which we don't know who these guys are. But we know they've been rotation guys. You can't, if you're going to move back in the draft, and as Jesse just stated, and if we've heard from Broadus, we've heard from all our draft experts here on these shows, that when you draft in the second and third round, and even though we may be hyped on these guys, these would be guys that pushed up from the third round, or guys that they failed in these positions because other guys were drafted at other positions of needs, where it was a run on linemen or it was a run on linebackers, and all of a sudden, okay, this is the next guy that falls there, and so this science here going to be
What if
it's not exact.
In the case of the Patriots or any team or whatever, what if part of the package of moving down included a starting cornerback? Like if the Patriots are rumored to be shopping Stephen Gilmore, somebody like that.
If he got money left on his contract, let's get him. But if he's free, if it's gonna be a money issue, let's get him this 1 year, and
All right, fellas, let's take a break. When we come back, Amen Corner with Kurt Daniels on Hangin' with the Boys.
How great would it be to travel to watch the Cowboys win on another team's turf? Pretty great. But honestly, just watching the game from anywhere but your house would be fun. Even a hotel bar with some guy named Phil from St. Louis who thinks Oakland still has a team. So whether you're traveling to the game or watching from your favorite vacation spot, Book a place to stay on Hotels.com. Proud partner of the Dallas Cowboys.
Hey, Cowboys fans, ready to spice up your next watch party? Bring Yo Quiero guacamole and be the game day hero. Yo Quiero means I want, and we know you want great, fresh-tasting, ready-to-serve guacamole for your home gating and tailgating events. Made with real avocados and the perfect blend of spices, it will be the star of any party. You can find us at your local Albertsons or Tom Thumb in the deli section. If you can't find it, talk to your store manager and tell them, Yo Quiero guacamole.
Hey, Cowboys fans, if you're thinking about attending a game this season, visit cowboystravel.com to book your travel package today. Stay at the team hotel, have dinner with a Cowboys legend, and experience AT&T Stadium's exclusive VIP Owners Club. Also, tour the Star, get autographs from your favorite players, and talk X's and O's with me, Mickey Spagnola. The official travel partner of the Dallas Cowboys will take care of all your travel needs. Visit cowboystravel.com.
Just like all of you, we at SeatGeek can't wait until we're back in the stands at full strength cheering on the Cowboys and singing along to our favorite songs again. We're using this time to make discovering, buying, and selling tickets to events in Dallas easier. Plus, every ticket purchased on SeatGeek is protected by our buyer guarantee, which means you'll get your money back or better if your event is canceled. Guaranteed. Download the SeatGeek app today, and when the time is right, let's go. SeatGeek.
Back to Hangin' with the Boys.
Am I on? Am I working? Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, we got you,
All
brother.
right, good. Thanks. Big shout out to Chris for getting us going. Shannon had to run off to a very important meeting because he's big time. That or he's heading to the bathroom with exploding diarrhea. I'm not real sure which one it is, but we got shifted around and adjusted here. I don't have the reads, but hey, buy our 2021 Dallas Cowboys Star Magazine Draft Guide. It'll give you all of the draft coverage you need with a Cowboys angle, what the Cowboys need, what they have, who they might pick out, plus some feature stories looking back at the past. We got it all in there, so check it out. Go to dallascowboys.com/star to get your 2021 Cowboys Draft Guide. All right, fellas. Not sure which direction you guys want to go here. Actually, I'm going to throw out one question to you. This is kind of backing up to something Jesse said earlier. This actually comes from Kay Clark upstairs. She's listening to us, and I actually don't know what I would do without Kay helping me out all the time. But, Jesse, you had mentioned that McCarthy hasn't maybe figured out this virtual thing. He's an old school guy who is not used to it, and, so on and so on. But if you look at last year's Super Bowl teams, you had Andy Reid in there, who's 63. You had Bruce Arians, who's 68. I mean, they don't get much more old school than those two, and those teams both had success. What do you think? Just a matter of...
I know the answer to that one, Jesse.
Yeah, what do you think? What do you think's going on there?
I know the answer to that one. Go ahead on, my friend. Ride it.
Well, we'll start in Tampa, and you saw what Tom Brady was doing in Tampa, right? Tom Brady said, well, I hear what y'all saying about we got to do things virtually, but I'm at this high school field with my guys, and we're going to get this working. And they got in trouble for it initially, but Tom Brady was getting that working. While Bruce Arians may not have been able to get their hands on, he was able to send a message through Tom Brady. Tom Brady was able to get these guys lined up and ready to go. So they had that leadership there. And then when you look at a team like Kansas City, that's a veteran team. So coming in, those guys had a bunch of, I think they had almost every starter return that they had offensively and defensively last year in that team. So it wasn't much teaching them. They already knew the system. They already knew what they had to do. They already knew their placement. They already knew the play calling. They already knew everything that you needed to know about, what was going on in that thing. And then you had two of the best quarterbacks in the league. The Cowboys would have fared a little bit better in the year had they had their starting quarterback. That would have made up for some of the laps they had in other places. But Bruce Arians, he had Tom Brady. He had a bunch of other veterans. Andy Reid, he had Patrick Mahomes and a roster of 22 guys on the starting defense and offensive side of the ball that was already in his system. So these guys knew what to do already. So not having them in the offseason and being able to put your hands on them was different for a guy like Mike McCarthy, who didn't know this team, didn't know this roster, added a couple guys of his own, was coming from another system, didn't know where players fit and so on and so forth. So he was coming with the magnitude of different circumstances, opposed to Tom Brady saying, here's the offense that we're going to run. Hey, meet me out at this high school football field. Let's get all this stuff done. And I'm not saying that the other guys in the Cowboys didn't do so, but they were learning everything new. And, and Kansas City was Kansas City. That team was built and ready to go. They just needed a start date.
I agree. I knew the answer to that one, my friend. And I'm not saying other coaches in the league. I didn't look at other teams, but Coach McCarthy, believe it or not, he came right off the street. He came right off the street. And the main thing we were talking about at the end of the year was culture. Can we get a culture change? And the biggest way to getting a culture change is guys seeing their success by what they're doing on the field. These guys I got it. On paper, they got it. They drawing the lines where they need to go. On the field, wide open, split-second decisions. A lot of guys weren't making them.
Yeah.
And they were blowing coverages. They were blowing assignments. And so they needed to have their hands on these guys.
Well, I would think going now into this second year of potential virtual off-season workouts that you would think the offense would be pretty set. You've got Kellen Moore back again. Most of the major players are back, that sort of thing. But on defense, you now have another new defensive coordinator, third one in 3 years. I think you've signed 10 free agents, and like 7 or 8 of them are defensive guys. Are they going to run into the same problems?
Well, this year differently. They will have some time to kind of, get on the field, get around some guys. At least guys can be in a building. You can sit down and kind of talk to some guys, so on and so forth. And you have a little bit better handle of virtual learning. Again, like Nate was saying, he came right off the street. All these guys, this is the first time they had to deal with technology in this way, shape, or form. So they got a little bit under their belt. But when you look at the way that the CBA has written it out and the league has written it out for off-season program to go, you'll have some time where you get a chance. Remember, there was literally no OTA. There were no anything, no mini camps, nothing last year. You will at least get some of that this off-season so that you can look at guys and get on the field and work with guys and see how guys fit in your system. So it helps a little bit that you got a year under your belt learning virtually, players and coaches, and then that you'll be able to get back on the field and do something physically at some point in time in the spring.
Because unlike last year, they have a week on the field on May 17th.
Mm-hmm.
Then they come back again. They have 4 weeks of OTAs and minicamps. That's from May 24th to June 18th. They didn't have none of that last year.
Right, yeah.
None of it, man. And so even though the players, like I'm telling you, guys like me, I needed those off season to work and to get in shape. Jesse just explained that he needed it, and he saw the benefit. A lot of these guys, man, you turn this thing back into a veteran thing because coaches going to trust veterans more than they do young guys. So it's back into their court now for its veteran players.
Nice. Well, another question I wanted to throw at you, and Jesse, this might be directed more towards you, but Nate, you would know as well. Listened to one of our local radio stations here the other day, and they had kind of an interesting theory that today's game, you're starting to see more impact from smaller wide receivers. They're becoming more valuable than these, gigantic 6'4" guys. Maybe not more valuable than them, but they're in their own right are creating more value. Based on mainly because some of the rule changes and such, that speed and quickness to be able to move in and out is maybe becoming a bigger asset than just pure size. I went and looked at Kyle Yeoman, who did our draft rankings for our draft guide this year. He had of his 30 top wide receivers, 13 were under 6 foot, which is 43%. That's a pretty good amount there. And then of that 30, also 6 were only 5'9", and 3 of those were in his top 10, which I was pretty shocked by. I mean, that's a pretty small player. Do you think wide receiver is changing some in how they're using them and in the size needed?
Yeah, the league is always changing. Remember, we have to where it was always 12 personnel, right, Nate? Right, it was always 21 personnel. or there's always two tight ends, a fullback. We don't have fullbacks anymore. I remember when 90% of the time you were under center. Now you're predominantly in shotgun. I remember when the wave of tall wide receivers were kind of coming into that Larry Fitzgerald 2005, 6-ish, era where the tall receivers were coming in. I remember when everybody had to go get a dominant running back. Now they're saying running backs are dinosaurs. Don't pick one in the first round. Don't pick one in the second round. You can get, two later in the fifth round. So it's just the league doing what it does. It changes. And I remember when you didn't go for it on third downs and you punted and all these different things. And the league is forever evolving and changing. And this is the new wave. The small slot receiver has emerged and is becoming a more valuable asset in a team's offense. Because now you want to have that guy control the middle of the football field. Because defensive guys, they're getting bigger, stronger, faster, and more athletic. So you have to be able to match that. You have to be one step ahead. Now you got linemen running, 300-pound defensive linemen, offensive linemen running 40s in 5 seconds. You got linebackers running 40s in 4.4, 4.3. You got DBs. Everybody's running a 4.3 now. So I have to try to find advantages. And now the slot receiver is just a new wave of things that are happening for the National Football League, and there'll be another change coming soon. We're adding 17 games. Who else know what? Another position may come about, and things may be different in the next, another 5 years. So that's just the way the game goes. You evolve or you die. And so now the NFL is evolving, and slot receivers have become a hot commodity in teams' offenses.
And I guess we'll see that counteracted. We talked about it some last week, how big the slot corners are becoming in that. I mean,
Jesse said it well, Kurt. The thing is this: get the best player that fits your system and understands what you want. It still comes down to that. It still comes down. Is this 5'9" guy equal? Or you see potential that you see in this guy in Kansas City. That's who started it.
Tyreek Hill.
Yeah, but see, this is what everybody forgets. Tyreek Hill can catch.
Yeah.
We used to see speed guys that couldn't hold on to that ball. And see, Tyreek, all he's worried about now is once he get off the line, he just run wherever he want. I don't know if he's a great route runner, but sometimes I'm like, was that a route or did he just take off and go to a space? So I'm asking you, Jesse, as long as the guy can catch it, get to his proper space, he all right, huh?
Listen, speed kills.
Speed kills, man.
And you can catch it, and you got a guy like Patrick Mahomes who can throw the ball 70 yards on the drop of a dime, you're going to have a place in this league. And it kind of even goes back to Wes Welker. He was kind of really the ones who really kind of put a stamp on those small slot receivers, him and Tom Brady, starting that wave a couple years ago. And then now you just see it again. That evolves. Wes was a slow white guy who can move great, quick spaces. And then now you just say that, evolve. And now you got guys like Tyreek Hill, and you got guys like Cole Beasley, who could play the slot, exclusively, and just tear you up. Julian Edelman, he just retired.
Right.
Comes from that Wes Welker kind of, underling. And there's a guy right at UNT Denton who will be coming out, who will probably be another guy, and 5'9" guys, Devontae Smith, and guys like that, man. They're going to just keep coming and keep coming and keep coming. And the skill set's going to get greater and greater and greater. It'll be tougher and tougher to defend them. And all of that will do is birth the next level of guys who will be specific slot corners. You always wanted your Deions or your Darrelle Reeveses to shut down the outside, right? Deion used to say 75% of the world is covered by water. The other 25 is covered by me.
Right.
Cool.
Right.
Now you're going to need somebody who's going to be specifically able to stay in front of a guy like Tyreek Hill in the slot, to stay in front of a guy like Devontae Smith in the slot, CeeDee Lamb in the slot. These guys are going to have to now become position-specific slot shutdown corners, because that's going to become a part of the game where teams, quarterbacks, offensive coordinators use much more.
Yeah. When I'm serious, man. When I look at Kansas City, as sharp as their quarterback is, and as great as their system is, I see 30% of the time in a game when he's broken contain or broken the pocket, he just look around, man, and here go receivers just running everywhere.
Street ball at that point.
Yeah, it just turned into, hey, man, I'm open, and you wave, and he got the strength and the accuracy there, and it hit you, bro. Yeah. And when you got to do this, I don't know how tall this kid is, but I seen him one time get jammed, stopped on the line. But 3 seconds later, he was going 70 yards with a ball. I'm like, wow, he just got jammed on the line. Yeah. So, hey, speed always and always will kill.
Yeah, and when Jimmy came in, that was his big thing about the defense. It was too slow, and he wanted a faster defense.
I remember when Jimmy told a bunch of media guys, he said, I am shocked. We did a overall team workout where he had us doing these specific drills, almost like what they do at the combine. And we're all out there running. And he told the guy as soon as he walked off the field, they had about 20 reporters. He said, my college defense as a whole was faster than my pro defense. He said, that ain't happening. He said, no, this ain't, nah. I think we had an average of like 4.89. And he's like, man, we 4.7. Yeah. His college guys with all the linemen, with all the cornerback, he like, nah, this is too slow.
Yeah.
And he changed us, man. He changed us quick.
Maybe this, moving a Kano Neal from safety down to linebacker, maybe that's the future.
I just want to see how it's going to work, Kurt. Yeah. I really do. I ain't trusting no more in my instincts because they were wrong last year. They were totally wrong. And I had people believing that we had automatically stopped the run game and nobody had put on any pads. Mm-hmm. And so I just want to see, if we don't stop the run game, you can get all the corners you want. I'm just being honest. You can get all the corners and safeties you want. If you don't stop the run game, you can forget it, bro.
Yeah, can't be all little and fast. You got to have some big boys up front there. All right, well, I think we've hit our time. Actually went over our time limit here. Thank you guys today for hanging out. Jesse, oh, you're looking good.
You're looking good.
Nate, thank you very much.
Thank you, Kurt.
Chris, you're the MVP of this show today. You got us on the air before and during the middle. Appreciate that. Shannon as well. Always sorry you had to run off and leave us. But
so you think he's in the restroom this long?
Guys, man, he was hurting when he left here.
I just hope he washed his hands.
Oh, he better. We might need to take that Febreze into that bathroom in a minute.
Wow.
All right, well, we'll be back at it next Thursday. Maybe we can talk Jesse into joining us in the studio.
It's at 11:30. Be here by 11 o'clock, no later than 11:15 next Thursday, Jesse.
See what we can do.
See if I can't work that in my schedule.
see that.
Jesse's a busy man.
Yes, he is.
All right. Thank you all for tuning in once again. We will be back next Thursday at 11:30 on Hangin' with the Boys.
This has been a production of DallasCowboys.com and the Dallas Cowboys Football Club.
How about this, Cowboys?